Hello. Wow, I'm here to talk about the issue that has been or that has happened lately in the pageant world. And some days back I was scrolling through Instagram or through Facebook, yeah, and a few minutes late, like in 3 minutes, I saw a message from Miss Grand International that Rachel GUPTA is no longer the Miss Grand International. I was puzzled because, I follow Miss Cosmo, and you can see that Miss Cosmo is everywhere with our director. She looks very happy, having fun, traveling as Miss Cosmo to different countries in Asia. And I asked myself, what about Miss Grand? Where is Miss Grand? Even Miss Universe Queens have been traveling. Miss World Queens travel too. But then, where is Miss Grand? Why is she not traveling? I had questions to ask. But seeing the message from Miss Grand organizers and the one from Miss Rachel GUPTA, I just can't help but weigh in. As funny as it may sound, not funny, as serious as this may seem, I saw something coming. I sensed that all wasn't well. First of all, I must say that a lot of pageants are not what they portray themselves to be. Yeah, a lot of pageants will tell you when you become queen, we'll give you a house, a car, $1 million, change your wardrobe in totality. But then when you get in, you would realize, oh, this is not what it is, and Rachel confirmed that. And I am not going to defend any pageant on this. I'm not going to defend any pageants. A lot of pageants out there are guilty of doing this. You promise heaven and earth, and when you come, you won't even get a soil. I used to be a pageant girl back then. I flopped in some cases, and I did my best in others. I am not judging any pageants I've participated in the past, but then I must say there are some irregularities I spotted in some. When I was 19 years, there was a pageant I was supposed to go for, but then I saw some things that made me back out. It wasn't nice at all. I knew I wasn't going to have a good experience. But then there was one lady whom I met at the audition center and we exchanged contact. So she told me the experiences they had wasn't really nice. At night they'll take them out to go and hook them up with men. Like, yes, this happened for real. I was like, what? Thank God I didn't even go. I cancelled it. I was very uncomfortable because I've always wanted to be a beauty queen. I really liked it. I adored that queenly attitude. I rehearsed. I did everything. I had my own fair share, my own parts where I flawed. But then flaws don't cover up irregularities. Irregularities are there regardless of another person's flaws. So there are very credible pageants. Yes, there are very credible ones, and anyone who is interested in trying pageantry, of course you can ask questions, ask real people, or ask truthful people, I will say, because a lot of persons will lie to you. They will tell you, oh, is this, there was one lady that told me, do you think it's going to be bread and butter for you? I was like, is this what you people are doing? I'm not interested. I don't judge anybody. Whatever you want to do with your life, you can do with it. But then I won't have anybody packaging me like a box of sardine, or maybe a tin of sardine into cans and shipping me to wherever they want. I do not want that. And I'm not going to have anybody use me for whatever selfish gains they want to use me for. So it's all about personal choice at the end of the day, what you can and what you cannot do. Miss Rachel GUPTA cried out, and I wouldn't invalidate her cries at all, and I wouldn't say that she was entirely right. But then when the conditions are not right for you to perform, you will always have limitations, and not everybody can function with limitations. Not everybody can function with limitations. She said that there are a lot of broken promises. That's part of the game, girl. You didn't know? Broken promises. Yeah, a pageant is supposed to change your life, and it will change your life for real, even with broken promises. It will give you just status. status and fame. You get to meet people in a higher caliber, people of timber and caliber, people in a high that have a high status in the society. You're in India, of course. Bollywood is there. You can dabble into it and make something good out of it if you can act. I believe the Indian entertainment industry is big enough for Richard GUPTA to embrace. Then the dark side of it is that you're supposed to sponsor yourself all through. Can imagine being in a foreign land such as Thailand. You have to feed yourself, you have to clothe yourself, you have to do everything for yourself. The accommodation you are giving is not what you expected. It's the lowest thing. And some girls are from rich families, they are from big homes, they are from well-established families. You can imagine somebody that lives in a house with maids everywhere that do everything for them, somebody who lives a good life, and they join your pageant with a good hope that, oh yeah, this is going to be better for me and I'm going to be more comfortable. It's maybe better than my father's house, of course. And you get there only to realize this is even way lesser than what you expected or what you should do. Below your standard. You're portrayed out there as a grand lady, but behind the scene there is nothing, absolutely nothing grand about you. That's hurtful. Not everybody can live a deceptive life. Not everybody can do that. So Rachel, you are right not wanting to live the life that's below you. And also, as you can imagine, a lady who is educated, you have a bachelor's degree, maybe your master's, and you're being made to sell tomato products. Come on, that's not what the pageant is out there for. Go online, read about the pageants, read about the rules and all that, and you realize that none of them includes being a salesperson, being a marketer for a brand that is not by any means associated with the pageant in the first place. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's like deception. It's like they're masking things, and the moment the crown drops on your head, you've gained worldwide attention, and then they bring you offerings that would come at the cost of your crown, that will come at the cost of that joy you received. Then you think about, oh, my family that supported me, my friends that backed me up. Remember people that are cheering you up and say, don't come home without the crown. And there you have a huge paperwork of agreements that says you have to do this, you have to do that, and these things compromise your values. Like, they're way below you, they compromise your value deeply, and you're at a crossroads. Should I sign or should I disappoint these people? Should I disappoint myself and sign and make others feel good? Someone who just won a crown, who's just a few days old in the crown, would definitely up on that, and that's not a yardstick to have them do demeaning things. Anyways, Rachel call it demeaning, but then on the other hand, I think it's also nice if you as a queen are friendly with the people you work with. Yes, it's good to be friendly with them, and I don't think that's the only thing they made you do that is unqueenly. I don't think that's the only thing they made you do that's unqueenly. If I work with somebody and my job duty, my job description says that I'm a this, I'm a that, and the person has other things he or she does that maybe my voice can amplify, there is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with amplifying, using your voice to amplify that aspect of the person's business. There is nothing wrong. It's good to keep a friendly relationship with the people you work with. Yes, it's good to most times uphold your values, but then sometimes you can cut them some slack. You wouldn't say throughout the pageant, throughout your reign, all you did was sell tomatoes and all that. Sell tomatoes, snacks, and tacky things like you described. It's possible they are tacky, but then sometimes it's good to be flexible enough for people to accept you. And also then when the grounds are not right for you to be flexible, when they do not meet their needs, they do not meet the promises you were given, and yet wanting you to play your own role, I think I fault them on that. If my boss doesn't pay my salary for a whole month, and there you come saying, can you do this for me, can you do this for me, that's outside my job description, I'll look at you like, even if I don't say it, like, are you crazy, you're mad, but I think one action begot another action. Rachel is a solid girl, like she stands her ground. You will not override her. She is a queen without a crown. Yeah, I see a girl that's a queen without a crown. Imagine being the first winner. Like, the whole nation have their eyes on you. You brought pride to your nation. Everybody is happy to receive you. Oh, the first queen. Your friends are already bragging about you, saying nice stuff about you. And all of a sudden, you have to relinquish your crown. That must have been a very, very tough decision for Rachel, I must say. And for her to have done that, it means it must have been a very, very difficult situation. She must have been in a very tight position where she couldn't do otherwise than to relinquish the crown. But MGI, on the other hand, says, oh, we dethroned her. She failed to do her duties. But in a situation whereby the organization failed to do their duties, what was Rachel supposed to do? You see, these pageants most times don't protect girls. A lot of girls are vulnerable, and you tend not to see those vulnerability because they are wearing beautiful dresses. They have to pose, look perfect for the glam. They have to portray this personal image out there. They can't tell you what they go through. A lot of girls go through a lot of nonsense. This brings me to to this question that's been on my mind. Why do we have, African girls hardly scale through certain levels? Even Miss France that got to top 5, she represented France. Trust me, if that girl had represented Senegal, she would have gone absolutely nowhere. She's originally a Senegalese, but then she would have gone nowhere if she represented Senegal. There are a lot of beautiful girls from Africa. A whole lot of African queens are just so beautiful. When you check the lines, when you check the history of the crown holders of most of these international pageants, African girls are hardly placed. I wouldn't say that these people can't judge the African beauty, because we've had African queens, of course. We've had Agbani Darego, we have Zozibini Tunzi, we've had this lady from Botswana. We've had queens from all over Africa in different international pageants, but these queens are rare. Most of these crowns go to countries where there is a high desperation for pageantry. Yes, where there's a high desperation for wearing a crown, where it is very honorary for a lady to be a beauty queen. And could that be a reason why some of these girls keep quiet even when they go through nonsense? You don't expect a girl from the Philippines to cry out, oh, they don't treat me right, this, that, when in the Philippines wearing a crown is a big deal. It's like, in my country, who gives 2 cents? The reason why everybody cared about Chichi Vanessa recently is because she was humiliated in South Africa, and we had to prove it to the world that our own is our own. When motherland rejects you, fatherland wouldn't reject you. That's what we had to prove, and we made our point. We made it clear. We have girls go for Miss Cosmo. We have girls go for Miss Grand International, Miss International. Of course, we've had a Miss International winner, Bianca Ono. That's in 1980 something, over 30 years ago now. We have many other pageants, but then you hardly see African girls shine. Why is that so? Is it that? I really don't know. I don't know. But then you can't say that African girls are not beautiful or they are not worthy of the crown. But come to think of it, you can imagine an African girl going through what Rachel went through. It would have been much more insulting, much more humiliating. I don't know what it would have. I can't really guess. I'm only predicting. I'm not saying the Miss Grand International Management would have done that to an African lady. But then, what's the Africans' fate? I think it's high time we Africans have our own pageants, and where black girls can successfully compete and win in their own right, in their own beauty zone. You get what I'm trying to say when I say beauty zone. So another thing that boggles my mind again is this: why is it that in pageants ladies are expected to smile? In fact, fakeness starts from the stage. That fakeness begins from the stage. Even when you don't win, you're expected to look beautiful. Nobody smiles when they don't win. trust me, nobody smiles when a crown passes them by. They will definitely cry. You know, these girls are made to suppress their emotions. At the end of the day, trust me, pageants are shows, someone's business. You can only shine when they permit you to shine in it. That's just the truth. You can only shine when they permit you to shine in it. And they call the shots. Whatever gets to you, that's you. You know, I don't think same is for Miss World. I can't say for Miss Universe. But for Miss World, I really trust that pageant so well. While growing up, I actually wanted to contest for Miss World. But on the long run, okay, I wasn't really comfortable with bikinis. On the long run, bikinis were removed. I think I was over that age by that time. And the hurdles of getting that crown, of advancing to that stage where you contest in Miss World in Nigeria, is not easy. I didn't persist for so long. Yeah, I failed some. But then, you know, when you try and try again, one day it's going to get to you. But I didn't do that. So I believe in Miss World so well. I believe there are other good pageants, but now I can only vouch for Miss World. Then Miss Universe, why do I keep spotting something unusual about Victoria? Why does something in my spirit keep telling me Victoria is not comfortable? Yeah, she isn't. I feel that Victoria is definitely not comfortable wherever she is. Isn't she supposed to live in New York? That's where the queen's supposed to live. But then, what's she doing in Thailand? Why is she in Thailand? You know, all the time, videos of them traveling, enjoying. Aren't they supposed to do charitable works out there? But that's the reverse. You know, they portray this beauty with a purpose, beauty with that's meant to show women, you know, uplift women and all that. But at the end of the day, it is not what it is. It is not what it looks like, you know. And okay, I was talking about suppressing feelings on stage. Trust me, that is where the fakeness starts from. Yeah, that is exactly where the fakeness starts from. You're meant to suppress your feelings. Yeah, smile even though someone else won. But when I looked at Miss Grand video, a lot of the ladies there did not like Rachel. Why? I am not going to say Rachel is a bad person. I am not going to say she's proud, but what's wrong with being proud? Of course, you have to be proud of yourself. Why does every other queen prefer CJ Opiaza over Rachel Gupta? Why didn't they even choose themselves? Why? Well, I understand that CJ Opiaza is she's a people's person from the look of things, and Rachel is not a people's person. Apparently, there is nothing wrong with that. I'm not a people's person, even though I know how to be friendly with people, I know how to court attention and all that. I'm not a people's person. I'm very reserved. I'm more reserved than extroverted, and there is no personality type required for any of these pageants. All you have to be is beautiful, grand, meet certain criteria. That doesn't necessarily include extroversion or and exclude introversion. So what's really the problem? Maybe, you know, some girls have this high energy. Their vibration is so high that when you're in a room feeling really beautiful and she comes in, you feel it like somebody has dethroned me. I'm no longer queen. Yeah, there's a girl with a higher vibration, with more beauty power than I think Rachel has that energy. Yes, a lot of girls don't like that. When they turn around and see, oh, who's this girl that's feeling more beautiful than me, that's more hyped than I am, they hate you automatically. Let alone when you're not overly friendly, you're not so out there for people. I think that's what Rachel is. I can't say, maybe she has another side that I'm not saying, but then I can tell that Rachel is confident. Her confidence is over 80%. Her beauty is high. She's tall, her legs are straight, she looks perfect. She has all the factors that could pass for a queen. I think even the Miss Grand International didn't want her. They wanted CJ Opiaza. But then Rachel's energy, Rachel's ability to steal the whole crowd. I followed the MGI pageant till she was crowned. Rachel stole everybody's heart without their permission. Yeah, she stole everybody, even the audience, public. And Miss Grant couldn't have manipulated things against her. There was no way, you know, because she was already up there. She was a queen. She came as a queen in her own right. Winning it for India for the first time was a big deal. Then relinquishing the crown again, knowing that you're the first person to have gotten it in India, must have been a very, very difficult thing for her to do. But then another factor again that I would say played a great role in this back and forth between MGI and Rachel Gupta is the management, MGI management in India. Oh, the moment the franchise was taken away from, is it Nikhil? Yeah, the moment that franchise was taken away from him, Rachel had no place. She had the option of kissing their butts or getting dethroned. And as a queen, she couldn't have done that. There was no way she could have done that. So the more she didn't have a backup, she didn't have a backing. It was just her. It was just Rachel. Imagine if your management are right behind you. Nikhil wouldn't have allowed this queen go through such problems that she was going through. He would have been there for her at least. He would have been able to speak to the management. He would have been able to speak on her behalf. But then she was all by herself, representing herself. So whatever blow she was going to be served would have hit her really badly. And her claims of her money getting stolen, she can't prove it. That's the truth. She can't prove it. Yes, it's possible that she had money there and it was stolen. She can't prove it. She doesn't have a case. What proof does she have that she kept $1,000 in a bag and some rupees, and the person took $1,000, didn't take $700, didn't take the other rupees? You know, she doesn't have any proof. I believe her. I believe that her money was stolen. No, she doesn't have any proof, and neither can I prove it. I feel very sorry for her that her dream crashed on the long run, but then it's better for certain dreams to crash than for your soul to crash. It was like selling your self-esteem, selling your dignity for someone as Rachel, who is high in herself. There's nothing wrong with being high in yourself, you know. For someone like her, who has a very sound sense of self, who is a very, very beauty conscious, proud, confident, beautiful. You know, she's proud and she has every reason to be proud. She's confident, and of course she has every reason to be confident in your ego being trampled upon. Ooh, it's like asking a queen to live in a dog's kennel. That wouldn't have worked for her. I feel sorry for her. I wish her well in her new endeavors. I hope she doesn't let this fall be a difficult one for her. And also, why is there so much controversy surrounding her age? In the documents provided by MGI, she's 20, she's 30, she's going to be 30 this year. Someone born in 1995 is going to be 30 this year. But then some print says that she's 21 years old. Is it that she misrepresented herself? Anyways, it's common for girls to do that. I'm not excusing a lie, but then it is common for girls to want to reduce their age because they feel the younger you are, the more acceptable you will be. Look at me. How old do I look? I can actually eat vegetables for the next maybe 3 months, reduce my face size so that I'll look very slim, and then I'm gonna claim 25. How about that? Isn't my skin popping? I'm beautiful. I'm very tall. Yes, I'm tall. I may not be the tallest girl in the room, but then my height is very good. It's, you know, it's the beauty pageant pass mark, you know, fine girl, pretty African woman. oh Africa, my Africa. I feel sorry for the African girls scrambling for those crowns that will never be theirs. Why should they keep going there trying to seek validation from these men who would never consider them beautiful enough for their crown? I don't know what to say. But then, if Rachel is supposed to, if you are hosting a guest in your country, trust me, you're supposed to feed that guest. Yes, you're supposed to feed that guest. If you think, if you want to have me in your country as a queen, you should make arrangements for my feeding. I went for a pageant back then and we were well fed. Oh, yes, the feeding was good enough for their standard, even though that's not what I would rather eat. I liked it. I like the fact that, I like the thoughtfulness behind the food. I like the fact that they considered bringing us, you know, food that was good to their standard. But if it's not your home, it can't be your home. You can't expect what is not from your home from another person, you know. It's all love anyways. I wish them well. This last part. I thought thought beauty queens are meant to have each other's backs. I thought it's meant to be a world of love, but then you can see that there is no love. Yeah, there is no genuine love. Once Queen Rachel relinquished her position as the queen, CJ Piazza was called upon, and everybody kept, oh, you should have been the queen in the first place, as if to spite Rachel. No one shows her love, forgetting that she cried out, saying that this is her concern. She's a lady like you. She's your beauty queen. She's your pageant sister. Those people should be held responsible. They should be asked questions. Why was she treated this way? No lady should be treated this way. And why do people tend to benefit a lot from female negativity? You know, when women are fighting, you know, when women tend to be up against each other, shoulder to shoulder, it's some sort of fun, some sort of entertainment. I don't like that. It's not nice. CJ Piazza is going to be crowned queen very soon, and what has she said? What concern has she showed about Rachel's plight? If she doesn't show any concern about Rachel's plight, it means, you know, if there was no love in the first place. It's all physical beauty and inner hatred or inner despise or something. So it's all love anyways. Much love to all the girls out there. I mean, I've learned to embrace my own space, be in my own space without seeking beauty validations from any other person. I feel I am beautiful. Yes, I am a very beautiful girl. You can't tell me otherwise. I'm very beautiful. I'm a queen in my own right. I conquer my own world. I win in my own space. I have an invisible crown on my head. Nobody has to place it on my head, you know, for me to feel good. And I love that. Au revoir.